welcome back to the WTF podcast as we get carried away, man, as Sunderland have beaten Chelsea 2-1 at Stamford Bridge. Not our first famous victory at Stamford Bridge, but certainly feels like the sweetest one. I want to say unexpected, but I think fully deserved. The time's just past 5 o'clock, so you're getting us nice and fresh because we wanted to come on and be excited. Why not? We normally have the Sunday to chill out and be a little bit more level-headed, but we're getting carried away, man, as the great Davey would say. I'm joined by Peter Oliver. Pete, you're puffing your cheeks out as you speak in a kind of delightful way. We've just beat Chelsea 2-1. Apparently we've played no one. I think we might have played someone, and I think we might have beaten them today. How are you feeling?
Well, that's somebody they've beaten's the world champions. I'm absolutely ecstatic. I really am. They played well as well. That's the thing, is that it's a beautiful tactical masterpiece from Regis. Some fantastic individual performances that we'll be digging through. But man, I'm absolutely carried away. What I'm genuinely worried about is I made a promise on this pod that if Sunderland qualified for Europe, I'd get Enzo's neck tattoo. And I'm now going to have to say that that's going to have to go back officially to if Sunderland win the Champions League. And even then, I'm not confident about it because, I need to keep on working for a little bit longer. And it is still one of the worst neck tattoos I've ever seen. But what a player, though. He's class. I'm absolutely carried away, lads. I've lost it, but it's brilliant, man. They're just so good.
Yeah, my head's completely gone, so don't expect anything coherent, but do expect happiness, which is kind of, I imagine, where you're at as well. The brandy's been cracked open, and I'm already on my second. I had planned on not drinking, but here we are. I'm joined also by Brad, because everyone else is either sick, get well soon, Ross, or at Alton Towers, Sophie. Brad, how are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, buzzing, mate. I can't believe what I've just watched, to be fair. A game where, look, everyone will say, oh, you didn't have much of the ball, but we were so controlled there. It was just a joy to watch from start to finish. Well, not from start to finish. From about fifth minute onwards, it was a joy. And I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't on the preview podcast for the season, but I'm sure you guys will back me up. I have been adamant since the minute Tommy Watson buried that in the bottom corner that we are going to be top 7 in the Premier League.
What about top 2? What about top 2?
I'm not getting that carried away yet.
The lads are.
But yeah, to a man, they were just excellent all over the park today. And I'm sure we'll discuss some key performances, but it was just absolutely fantastic. And did the winning goal, just quickly before you mention it properly, did that have like a feel of Tommy Watson's, how he just passed it in the bottom corner?
Yeah, it did.
And the lad went to the end.
So much good stuff about it, but like the till the end stuff, it's constant in it. I mean, you've got Brentford this season, Chelsea away this season, but it's interesting you said that, Brad. I'll stick with you on that. You said we deserved it, and I agree. Like, I was frustrated when we conceded the early goal because I felt that in the first few minutes we looked good, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute, we've done all right here. And people might point to the possession stats and stuff like that, but I don't really remember Chelsea having that many chances. Like a couple of saves from like snapshots and stuff. They changed their forward line about 7 different times. They couldn't really get through it. Ballard, monstrous at the back. Hertruda, who I've learned how to pronounce and even put a little bit of accent on, just so composed. He was like he was in an Amsterdam coffee shop. So cool and composed, should I say. It was like he's in an Amsterdam coffee shop, if you know what I mean. But like, the whole back line wasn't really troubled. And then when we got forward, despite the fact that in the second half it wasn't that often, okay, fair enough, we looked dangerous and we looked the more dangerous team. I think the biggest thing you can take from that, Brad, is, yeah, big win, and I don't care if we play a shite and win the last minute. I'm not bothered. But we deserved that, I thought. And I've got a Chelsea supporting friend who's backed me up on that immediately after the full-time whistle. Not in anger, in genuine honesty. We deserved that because we were good defensively, limited them to half chances, snapshots, and when we got our chances, we took them. Actually, we could have had a few more, if we're completely honest. A few chances we could have scored before we did, but we saved it right till the end. And we did deserve it, didn't we, Brad? Fully deserved it, I thought.
Yeah, definitely. It's not all about, especially at this level, it's not all about how much of the ball you can have and recycling possession. It's about taking your chances when they come and staying tight, compact, and solid when you don't have the ball. And that's what we've done all season. I mean, when you were talking about the defence there, I thought for his first game back, Ronaldo, apart from when he gave the ball away, a heavy touch for their goal, I think it was. but he was absolutely phenomenal to the point where they had to put Neto on the other side to see if he could get anything because he just could not get past him. But you could go through the whole team, Graham, and when a team plays as a team that well, you will get results at this level. And we're seeing it. Like, I think there's only 2 defeats this season. We're 9 games in. And like you say, like, the start of the game, I was like, oh no, here we go. And I put it in the group. I was like, the Burnley game, my end has missed a sitter. And then we went and lost. And then the Man United game, Traore might have been offside, but he still got to finish that. And then we went out and got beat. And then Ballard's header in the first minute. And you're like, oh no, here we go. It's going to be one of them stories again. But, you know, didn't let the heads drop, the character, the attitude, the endeavour from every single one of them. And I don't care if he's here for the next 5 years. I will never ever get used to seeing Granit Xhaka dictating the game in the football in a Sunderland shirt. I just can't get my head around it. It's an absolute joy. I never ever thought that I would see something like that this quick. But
like, we had a bit of a two from in the group chat that we've got, and we were talking about, like, because you went, is Xhaka the best midfielder we've got? And I was like, oh, come on, Brad, calm down a bit, calm down. And like, the more I've thought about saying calm down, the more I've kind of gone, I mean, of course, Kevin Ball is the best midfielder we've ever had. Apart from Ball, if you take him out because he's, you know, indestructible and legendary and untouchable. In terms of out-and-out quality, we've probably never signed a midfielder, certainly in my lifetime anyway, of that level of quality, because he's world-class. And then for him to come in, you're excited. If I'm honest with you, he's been better than I thought he was going to be. And that's such a huge compliment because I was very excited. And I don't mean that in a bad way, or a good way, whichever you prefer. But I thought he was going to be good. Him dictating the ball today, like when we needed to relieve the pressure because they had the possession, he was just making the right passes, like every time. Not occasionally, every time. And then you've got Siddiqui that's just covering everything that exists around him. My biggest worry, which is a really good worry, is how many of these can we hang on to before £100 million bids come in for the likes of Siddiqui? Because like we've seen players like Siddiqui, like Caicedo, who played today for Chelsea, who I thought was their best player. He went for 100 million because he was producing performances like Siddiqui is at the moment for Brighton, and he got snapped up. That's my biggest concern. But if that's my biggest concern, Jesus Christ, I was watching Josh Gowan 3-4 years ago, and I make no like apologies for mentioning Josh Gowan, like imposter in that football shirt, and I'm so angry that that even existed. But
he catches strays every week now. I'm starting to feel sorry for Josh Cowan.
Can't stand him to be nothing.
It is every week though. Whenever we reach into the sack of shit players to compare to the quality we have now, it's always the one at the top of the pile.
Just for you then, we'll start saying George Dobson.
I'm not having it with Dobbo. Dobbo had better hair than Scowen.
Give over.
And who's playing in the Championship and dominating and dictating midfield against Middlesbrough? But anyway, we're going off on a tangent.
Right. Yeah, we are.
That's fine. That's what happens when you're happy. Pete, look, this is a really tough one for me because, and it's tough every single week, but I ask the question continuously, who stood out to you the most? Should we just start at Robin Roofs and just go through and just
keep on going?
Yeah.
Now, okay, I would have said, if he hadn't already got a mention, I would have said Ronaldo, because I love him at left back.
Yeah,
I think he's fantastic. And it's killing me a little bit because of how much I do love Dennis Serkin, and I want him back, and I want him fit, and I want him playing football again and enjoying his football, and that's what everybody wants to see. And but I love Ronaldo. He's great. He's absolutely won me over, but he's already being talked about. So I'm going to go for Dan Ballard. All right, he missed that header at the beginning. That's what it is. But he's such a threat in those positions, and what he showed today was there's a constant willingness to be in those attacking positions. And he's a big old bugger, hauling himself up and down that pitch like he does. He moves gracefully. His passing was excellent today, and just very, very pleased with the performance he put in, and impregnable at the back, just domineering, indomitable, absolutely wonderful. I'm really, really pleased with what I've seen from Dan Ballard. I just hope he stays fit. I'm really pleased with the way he has kept himself fit and playing. More of that, please, Dan.
I'm so pleased you mentioned his passing. By the way, that win was without, in my opinion, our best centre half, which is
Oh,
Alderete.
absolutely, absolutely. I was absolutely terrified going into this game. I was thinking I was coming on to give the whole, hey, look, it's the Premier League. They're a Champions League club. They've got hundreds and hundreds, if not billions of pounds spent on
They
players.
are
And
billions,
they're
by the way.
yeah, billions. And they're the world champions and all of this. I was expecting to come on with that, but we just absolutely wiped them off the park with a tactical masterclass and a performance of pure heart and spirit. So, yeah, Sodom.
I think you look at like the Palace game, and like we were chuffed with a point, and we felt we deserved it because our goalkeeper played well, who we paid money for to save goals, and he did. But if we're honest, like they had a lot of chances, and Roofs saved us quite a bit. I think you can watch an hour's worth of highlights on Sky Sports tonight, and you'll be like, what did he really have to do outside of the goal? And to be honest, I thought we could have done better on the goal, but I'm not going to concentrate on the negatives. But I'm so pleased you, if there's any, but I'm so pleased you mentioned Ballard's passing from the back. Brad just put in the group chat there that we thought you might have potentially done a Neramonua there when you won the ball in the middle of the park. I thought, go on, Dan, summon the spirit of Neramonua. But his passing, when we were never like under pressure, but like you're naturally always under pressure when a team has a lot of possession. And I felt like, well, we were under pressure a bit. Okay, fair enough. But like, not, it wasn't like we were backs to the wall, but there's points when we had to like stand up and be structured and be organized. And Ballard's pass every time. We know him for being like the guy who can head 20 balls out per game and head every cross. And we look at the playoff games and he was just meeting everything. Everything was just met by him and he won everything. We don't always know Dan Ballard as a defender that can get the ball, put it on the floor, pass it, make the right pass, find the right option. But he did today. And I don't think anyone's ever doubted Dan Ballard. But I think it's easy to forget that going into the playoffs, Chris Mepham was like the big guy. And like I love Chris Mepham. I'll always love Chris Mepham because he had a great season and Ballard wasn't really that fit. And then Reggie's took that chance on Dan Ballard coming in for the first leg because he thought I'm going to need that. He was a colossus. Then he did what he did, which will etch him in. I mean, he's a legend for that. Like I don't care what anyone says, no matter what he does moving forward, he's a legend. But he's made this massive step up against a really good team. I think João Pedro's a really good striker. I think he's a really good striker. I think Mark G was all right. There was a point though where Mark G only touched the ball 7 times. He had a great game during the midweek. I watched him against Ajax. He touched the ball 7 times before he went off. And that was because Dan Ballard basically won the ball on the floor against him every time. And look, you can go up against him in an aerial threat if you want. You're not going to win it. But on the floor and his passing and the ability to do the right thing at the right time was outstanding. But one player I really want to mention today, Brad, I think sometimes you sign a player and you go, well, he's good. Jack is one of them. But when we signed Gertruda, I was like, well, he's really good because he was linked to Barcelona last season, so he must be all right for a newly promoted team. He played today in like a back five or back three, whatever you prefer, on that like, left hand side. I thought every time he got the ball or it landed to him when Chelsea were attacking, I was just comfortable. Like he literally looked like he just came straight out of an Amsterdam cafe shop. I know I've said that, coffee shop, sorry. I know I said that, but he was so chilled out, man. Like, and every pass was right. And that's his first start. And I think that's a player who's fighting to get in the team, which probably tells you how good Alderete's played, how good Ballard's played, how good Nordy's played. But I thought he was outstanding today. And again, he's now put down a marker to Alderete, dare I say, to say, I want to keep my place actually, because I've just felt he did everything right. But Gertruda, a fantastic full debut today.
Yeah, there's only one thing I would say, caveat to that, maybe he was a little bit baked in the first half where he thought he had a bit too much time on the ball. Got it
he,
taken off him, and thankfully Pedro was offside and decided to pass, not shoot.
he didn't go to the Amsterdam cafe shop for legal reasons. He didn't actually go. He was in London the entire time. Where I was in Luxembourg to watch the game for like a couple of hours.
Fair play. I wasn't. I was on my couch. um, but yeah, apart from that one little bit in the first half, which again he's learned from straight away, he was outstanding. The three of them as a three centre halves were just, yeah. I mean, what can you say? It's what the best thing about, like you said there, Graham, is we were missing potentially our best centre half, or who's been probably one of our best centre halves this season. But we've now got the depth in the squad where someone can just come in and take his place, and that's what's pleasing. Like, yeah, I was gutted when I heard Alderete wasn't going to be in, but I never ever felt like I had at times like last season or in the past. Oh shit, what's going to happen now? I have full faith that Reggie's knows exactly who he needs to put where, and the people that are going to come in are more than capable of making that step up. And like you said, there, it's now up to if he's available for Everton. What do you do? I'm so glad I don't have to be making these decisions because I couldn't really take, apart from maybe one player, which we don't want to go into negatives, but I couldn't take anyone out of that team.
I couldn't either, and I know you maybe thinking of Traore because I know you got a bit of heat. I thought Traore was fine today, and I've got to a point where I agree. I'm pleased I'm not making those decisions, but I'm also absolutely delighted that Reggie Slibber's making them because I trust him. Like, if he said we need to play with 10 players today, we're going to just leave one off, I'd be like, all right, sound. Whatever you think would be best, Reggie's, because I liked he's such a wholesome fella, isn't he? Did anyone see the interview with him during the week when they're asking the managers what they do before the match? And he was like, say hello to my dog. And it was and then when he was talking to Defoe in that video during the week, and Defoe was like, oh, you're so calm in between telling everyone how much he loved the cage. He was like, yeah, like on the outside, but like not inside. And like, I like when he has those occasional bursts of celebrations, but hey, look, he took 120 days to get here between Beale, which seems like an eternity ago. But what a wait. I've never known a man. I've always felt a manager needed to have a certain characteristic to be Sunderland manager. Sam Allardyce, Peter Reid, Roy Keane. You know what personality that is. Reggie's is not that guy, and it just works like a treat. And it's also got this wonderful modern twist that just benefits us. And honestly, we could do an hour podcast on each player, I think, and the performance that they put in. But I'm pleased that Pete mentioned. I'm really pleased that Pete mentioned Dan Ballard because for me. And I'm so pleased he was a championship player that came through with us because it's easy to talk about these really good, amazing players that like came in from like good teams like PSG and Bayer Leverkusen. And look, they've surpassed my expectations already. But I love that Trey Hume and Ballard and Wilson are all part of it, which kind of brings me on to Wilson. Peter scored 3 goals at home. I think when we started the season, most of us would have been quite happy with Mayenda going up top because, like, I love Eliza Mayenda, big man, like what a guy. We'll always love him. I think he's got a massive part to play going forward, but Wilson just seems to have adapted to the Premier League. Like there's no change from what we're seeing in what we've seen in the Championship to what we're seeing in the Premier League. And another goal for him. That's his first away goal, but he might not get the plaudits today because Talby getting the winner and the performances of the players. But like Wilson is proven to be a real weapon in the Premier League, isn't he?
Absolutely phenomenal. Slid right in there as a Premier League, well, literally a Premier League goal scorer, but looking not out of place at all as a Premier League striker. I'm so pleased for him because I absolutely adore that boy. I think he's fantastic. Not just as a footballer, but everything you read about him, everything he seems to do off the pitch. He's and I love the celebrations. I love that when, you see Talby's goal go in and you see the lads run over. And of course, who's there? It's Luke and it's Wilson. And then it's Enzo and everybody else joins in. But you're going to see those lads there when it comes to those big celebrations because I think we have said it too often, but we do keep on saying it because it's true that they're players that have come in and have really just got the club and have got the fans. And he's played at some big places that I know pretty well from my time in Moscow. I mean, both Lokomotiv and Zenit are massive footballing institutions with huge fan bases. So it's not like he won't have played places where he was adored. And from speaking to some people I know who are Lokomotiv fans, they absolutely loved him. But he's really fitted in as a Premier League footballer and as an absolute threat as a Premier League footballer. Because whether it's with his head, with his left foot, his right foot, he has shown that he can mix it up a little bit in the middle and get a scrappy goal like today. But I love that outball that we have to him, where he can hang on the last defender. And he rely on his pace and his strength of running I find phenomenal as well. I adore him. I still want to see him dressed as a musketeer.
I'm kind of reluctant to say this story because it sounds like, oh, look who follows us and all that kind of stuff. But I
Say
want
the story.
it's a good story, isn't it? Like, so there's a lad that's coming over from Chicago for his first Sunday game called Dawson. Please, if you see him or you hear an American accent and he's called Dawson, buy him a pint
Does he have
because
a
he's
creek?
traveling. He doesn't know. I don't know. I haven't asked him. He might have.
We have to.
But I've got to know him over the past few months, and he has followed Sunderland, not because of Netflix, he's followed Sunderland since before the Martin O'Neill days. And I thought, I wonder, and I've met a few people, Michael, who stayed with me before the West Ham game, great guy, great guy. Trying to ring me as we speak, actually, funnily enough. But who's followed Sunderland from America, and he's coming over, and I thought I'll send Wilson a message because I think he follows all the podcasts. I think anything Sunderland he follows. And I sent him a message, said, look, it's fine if not, like, don't worry, you're a busy man. But if you can do a wee message for my friend Dawson who's travelling hundreds of miles, that'd be fantastic. I'm sure he'd love it. And I thought if he doesn't, hey, I love him either way. Doesn't matter. But if he does, lovely. And he sent like a message. And the funniest part is that he can't pronounce Bournemouth for the record. But he sent literally within like a day a full 1 minute message just saying how excited he was to see someone from abroad come for the first game. He hopes that we put in a performance, hopes that we win. And we talk an awful lot about getting it, and it's a bit cliche. But the best thing, Brad, is Nori Makwele is a quality footballer. Ronaldo's a quality footballer. Granit Xhaka's a world-class footballer. Robin Roof's a great goalkeeper. No Siddiqui's going to be our first £100 million player that we sell, in my personal opinion. And I'm going to put that on record because I'm that confident now. I've said it for a few weeks, but I'm confident enough to say that now. I hope he doesn't like. I hope we don't make any money off him. I hope he just stays for the rest of his life. But the thing is, Brad, these players, and this has got to be a Reggie Slabreeze thing, and also the recruitment team, whoever brought in whoever, whether it was Stu Harvey before he left, whether it was Gasolfi as he came in the summer, have identified players that understand and believe in what Sunderland AFC are as a club, which is a fucking hard job. Like, it's easy for us because we were brought into it. Like, I was born to, like, who do you love? Sunderland, who do you hate? Newcastle. And it's never changed. It never will. I hate them lot. Can't stand them. Despise them. The bones of them, I hate them. Sunderland, love them in the opposite way. But we brought in players that seem to just get it. And, like, quality footballers at the same time. And you talked before about Granit Xhaka being, like, you kind of get your head around him playing. But it's not just him playing and being good. Because we've seen players come in and be good at football. But sometimes they don't fully get it the way we do. I'm quite convinced that these lads that have been here 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever it is love Sunderland as much as I do. And that's a huge compliment to Regis. It's a huge compliment to themselves. But it's also a massive compliment to the recruitment because it's easy to sign a quality player. It's difficult to sign a player with a mentality that fits the football club that you're trying to get success to. And like, I don't know how we've done it, Brad. And I don't want to know how we've done it because I don't care about the intricate details. I care about the result. But how fantastic is that to see?
Yeah. You've got also mentioned Habib Diarra. He's missed a good few weeks now, but his Snapchat stories have like taken over Sunderland social media because it just shows the camaraderie that they've got around the place. I know you said you don't want to know why they've got it or how they've got it, but I think it is well, it has been documented. And I know each player had a chat with Reggie's before they signed on the dotted line, but also the club showed them, I think it's like a 10-minute video about what Sunderland is before any of them sign. And I think that's whatever's on that video, just show it to the world, because I'd love everyone to have this feeling that I've got, apart from that lot up the road, of why I love Sunderland. But yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, there was that video from Jermaine Defoe in the middle of the week. He's one player from the past where it's just like he's came from down south, no connection to the club, and he just got it immediately. You've seen him like cry against Newcastle, and then he's came back in the excuse me, last weekend, and that video was put out midweek, and he's sort of like he was talking to Granit Xhaka, and what was it he said at the end? So was it now top four? And Xhaka was like, "Oh yeah, we'll see, we'll see." And it's like, do these actually have the same belief as us as well? That, you know what, anything can happen this season. There is a lot of different reasons why people love Sunderland.
Yeah, you're right though. Like, it's easy for us to understand Sunderland because we've been there. Like, the reason that the playoffs and getting promoted in days like today mean so much is because of what we went through. And I don't just mean like the League One seasons and stuff. Like, even going down with 15 points, which by the way, I think we've now surpassed. So we've surpassed our second, not our worst record points total. I had to watch a full season of Sunderland. Like, lads who tried, lads who really tried, lads who I've got so much respect for, like Dean Whitehead and stuff like that. But like, ultimately at that point weren't good enough to stay in the Premier League. And I had to watch in a kind of really sad way is we just fell out of the league and just got like beat every week by like one goal because they never got bad, hardly ever got bad actually. So you kind of like you enjoy these moments more, but it almost feels like these boys on the pitch, like Siddiqui and that, who are absolutely loved by the way, such a cheeky smile, such a, like a battler, so much to like about him. Nordy celebrating on his own when we got the winner, by the way. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Brilliant. It feels like they've been through the entire turmoil we've been through, and I'm like, how have you managed to convince them that this matters as much as it matters to me? And sometimes football can be. Darren Bent did that, didn't he? And that kind of like came back on us. But I think these players do seem to get it, and it's just massive. But the biggest thing, Pete, for me that I took from today when I was thinking about like because it's difficult actually thinking of immediate questions, by the way, but I did it. The whole way through the game, all I could hear was Sunderland. And I had family members in the crowd today. I had lots of friends in the crowd today. I sadly have been working, or I'm working tomorrow, so I couldn't go this week. But all you could hear constantly through the stream was Sunderland fans singing. And I mean, like before the game, after the game, when the players needed them. Everything I said before about how are these players getting it so quickly, and then I remember how amazing they were, the fans, and I think, well, that's why. They were magnificent and relentless today, weren't they? Like our away support, it's phenomenal.
I'm really glad you've asked that because it was on the bit of paper that I've left in the other room that was to make sure you mention the noise from the fans. It was incredible. It was absolutely phenomenal. The noise that was coming from them, the support from them. I mean, I don't think I heard a Chelsea song that I could tell you what it was.
I
And
heard
they
one.
are,
I
which
heard
one's
one,
that?
and it goes something like Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. It's something
Chelsea!
along them lines. I don't know. I don't really know the words, but
Right, but it's you can tell it, but it's clearly the work of an intricate mind. That's what you picked it out
put a
from.
lot
Yeah.
of
It's
thought
it's
into it, didn't they?
is it
Loads,
is it
loads
like
and
our
loads.
Sunderland, 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 a bit like
No,
that?
because ours is good. Ours is right
Ah,
and
yeah, yeah, it's
better,
good.
and
Yeah.
theirs is just wrong and bad.
And ours has
But
the intelligence of fitting in a longer word into a smaller segment.
oh, I mean, speak to any chorister, they'll tell you that.
Difficult.
First thing they'll tell you. Right, but no, the fans, absolutely amazing, man. Just incredible. It must be a hell of a feeling to be one of those lads when you're talking about how they get it and how much Brad's talking about the work the club's done, and that has been phenomenal. And I think that goes right. Oh yeah, I've said phenomenal so many times. They've done an incredible job. They've done a good job in order to sell the project, the ambitious project that they've been floating around. I think you would have. I'm just watching Brad's messages and realizing I shouldn't do that while I'm trying to speak because these are things that would make sure I never work again. Anyway, what we're hearing from the fans, it must be, sorry, what the fans give towards the players must be, it must be like gold dust to them. When you need that bit extra, you've got Siddiqui, you're saying he's covering every blade of grass. The lad does look like he's far from fully fit. And he's still doing that. He's still got that smile on his face. He's still massively fired up for it all. And they know if they turn round at any moment, they give it anything, there's going to be a massive roar. If they put in any type of tackle that gets the ball, there's going to be an even bigger roar. And then if they can score the type of goals that Wilson Isidore's scored, and you're going to be the hero that he's become. I do genuinely think I'm watching the best period, or I hope it's the start of the best period of watching Sunderland in my life. And it feels so much different to the Reedy years, obviously, because I'm so much older. But it does feel different. It feels like this is slightly more thought out, whereas that might have been a little bit more fly by the seat of the pants. I'm not saying that Peter Reid and Bob Murray didn't have plans. Obviously, they did. They made massive things for the club in terms of how it progressed and the home that the club has now. But I think that and it brings me back to one of the things that when Granit Xhaka signed, and I remember talking to my father about it, and he was like, I cannot believe he's actually done this. And it's like, well, I think just because we've been treated so badly over the years, ownership wise, when it comes to people telling us, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do the other, that when Kirill come in and said, I've got a 5-year plan, everybody went, hi, all right, mate, yeah, whatever. Pull the other one, like. But clearly he has, and he's followed through on what he's done. So I think what
I
you're
followed
seeing right
through
from the
and
very
Talby
top.
scored.
Yeah, I almost did. I follow you, so I think they followed through on that, and it's been reciprocated from the fans because there's always been phenomenal away support. There's always been phenomenal core of support at Sunderland that have followed them through some of the most dire dross that any football fan would ever have the misfortune to have inflicted upon them. But what you're seeing now is them genuinely becoming a force away from home. I mean, at home, I think it's a, at the stadium, like nobody's going to want to come to it anymore. But what you're seeing, performances off the pitch from the fans today, just amazing. And as you said, you've got Chelsea fans texting you. I don't know any Chelsea fans because like I've got nice friends, but oh come on, most of them are knobs. There's a couple of nice ones, I suppose, but most of them are. But yeah, you've even got Chelsea fans pointing out that they've had that, and I would love to see some of the reaction. I'll have a little troll through some of the social media later to see what they're saying about it and whether they've gone down the whole, oh, we had all the possession and they just got lucky and scored 2 goals, or whether they recognise that Regis Labrise absolutely boxed them off the park with tactics and with the passion that he's been able to instill in the magnificent, ambitious project that is Sunderland Football Club, Sunderland Association Football Club. I beg your pardon, Graham. I know it upsets you when people get
It
it wrong.
does. It does, and many people do. Many people that I love as well. You're not one of them. But I'll stick. We'll go to the listeners' questions because I can't be asked asking you mine anymore. Sunderland were really good. Everything's amazing, and I could speak about them for 2 hours. So let's go to listeners' questions because there's some pretty good ones because I think people might be as giddy as we are, which is always a nice thing. Oh, that's a good question. I'll save that one. Okay, this is a good one from Paul. I'll give this to you, Pete, first. Have we made up the 24-point gap between Leeds and Burnley yet?
Probably not in their eyes. They'll still
No.
hold something over us. Like, I mean, we have a metro system, so I don't think they do. There'll probably be something that gets brought up that'll be nothing to do with it. And don't worry, we'll just keep waving from where we are up high in the Champions League positions. I mean, yeah, actually, you caught me on the hop because just before that, I was looking at who Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Brentford play tomorrow to see who I'm going to be on Monday to see who I'm a fan of. But yeah, we'll just keep looking at them from above and get on with ourselves, and you'd wonder what next season may hold if we continue with this one.
We talking about a different team there when you said looking from above. But yeah, like I can't wait for Lou to get away, I'll be honest. I'm really excited for it. But Brad, there's loads of good questions, but let's go with some of the silly ones first. How many fridges could Brian Broby hold up at the same time or all at once?
How many fridges? Three.
Probably quite a few. Yeah, I think three.
Three's good. I mean, there was a guy who used to run around the Great North Run doing one, so I'll give him a bit of credit and say three.
Like on Brian Broby, he hasn't been able to make much impact as yet because of how good Wilson and then Mayenda has been in the past few months. I know Wilson's been the main guy, but like when you bring Mayenda on, he gives you something, and Broby's different to both, but he costs what 20-25 million, so you thought you might have something. I understand why we signed him today because I've seen Chelsea fans arguing that he held the lad off for 5 seconds and didn't put tackle in. You try and tackle him. He's massive. He's an absolute giant. He's got thighs that bigger than my head. And that, I'm not small.
What I'm also happy with
And you got a
is
massive head, Graham.
Yeah, yeah. There's two ways to think of that, isn't there?
so creepy. That is the biggest fuck you to the person who started giving them utter shit online and nearly caused a war between the Dutch media and Sunderland AFC.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even remember who it was, but it doesn't matter.
I don't
But
care who it is. He's an asshole.
like
That's the
that,
opinion of Bradley Sharp, not the WTF podcast. But
he's only a guest when he comes on when we're struggling. Um, but like looking at, I seen today a few. I didn't really want to mention it too much. I seen a few people really kicking off that Traore was playing today. You know what? He did all right. Traore did all right today. He worked hard. He did his job, and he's part of a team that won at Chelsea, which is like he's played 2 games.
it
Like
will
maybe
split. It will split opinions from what people are going to be expecting from him.
he
That's
will,
that's
but
what I would say.
like fair play. I mean, he played in a team. He's played in a team last week, and he played in a team this week. And I'm quite comfortable with him being quote unquote not very good at football if we keep winning games when he's in the team. And I think that's what matters most. Not people say Talby came on and scored, but for me, he worked really hard. And I think even if he was horrendous and made every pass wrong and he was a total man off and we were playing with 10 men, he's played two and a bit games. Let's maybe just give these boys a chance sometimes. And to be fair, I didn't want to concentrate on it too much because I think our fan base has been excellent with the players. I think we've really no one overreacted to Burnley. Nobody overreacted to Man United, and like you couldn't react to all the other games because we either won or got a decent point. So I think the fans on the whole are starting to see what every and each member of the squad offer the team, and are more than prepared to give them an opportunity because they seem to all collectively be buying into it alongside players who we've loved for a long, long time. But one of them says, "Where can we realistically finish this season?" Well,
Top
based on at the
seven.
moment, we'll top a bit and we're second at the minute. And it's going to be realistic. But let's not get carried away. Oh, let's get carried away. No, let's get carried away.
Let's get carried away.
Let's get carried
You
away.
get carried away as you want because I wanted to mention it just quickly while we're on that. We've watched the team. Like I'm sick of fans saying, "Oh, you've played no one." Then we finally played someone, right?
I mean, we have like I can't stand that. I'm
Right?
gonna like Villa, Palace, Man United, Chelsea.
I
We've
mean,
played plenty
Ian
decent
isn't here
teams
to point it out, but let's remember that Villa were one bad refereeing decision away from
for
the
the
Champions
Champions
League.
League.
Yeah. And for me, if you're a Sunderland fan, after what all the years that we've put up with shit, and we're finally back in the Premier League, and people want to try and pull you back down. No, you know what it is? It's because they're fucking jealous of the start that we've had. Because every single one of them were like, "Oh, you're going to go down with less points than Southampton. Oh, but you'll still get relegated once we surpass them points." And it'll just be now like, "Oh, well, Chelsea have more possession. You nicked a goal at the end." Couldn't give a fuck. Enjoy every minute of it because we all deserve it. Yes, we might go through a sticky patch in the season, and we won't enjoy it. But at this moment in time, 9 games in, 17 points, that's second in the table. It sounds mad saying it. Enjoy it. And if people don't want you to enjoy it, it's nothing against us. It's because they're fucking jealous. So let them carry on.
I can't get my head around they played no one. Well, Southampton played these same teams last season, Ipswich did, and they did now. And you said about going to a sticky patch. I'm going to a sticky patch at the minute, mate, to be honest with you. It's a really good run. But let's swiftly move on before I have to edit more of the podcast. I like this one. All panelists of the pod predictions of Wilson's tally by the end of the season. I don't want to put pressure on him. Not that he listens, but there's no reason why, with the start he's had, he could get. Oh, I don't want to put pressure on any because I don't care if he scores no more goals if Sunderland win because I think he'll play a part anyway, and I'll still love him regardless. But there's no reason why he can't get I mean, if Strand Larson got what 14 last season in like a relatively poor Wolves team. There's no reason he can't aim for 15 if we continue at this form, and he takes his chances. To be fair to him, and I think sometimes he got beat with a stick that he was a scorer of great goals, not a great goal scorer. Like, well, wrong. He's quite clearly quite a good player. And you know what? There's people last season that went, I think the Premier League will suit Wilson more. And I was like, eh? Like, what do you mean by that? And I'm the idiot this time. I think he could get 15. But if he doesn't, it's like it's okay. If he gets 10, I'll be delighted because I think 10 for a striker in the modern day Premier League that doesn't really have number nines necessarily, apart from like Haaland. You don't see players like Phillips getting 30 goals anymore. That just doesn't happen. But there's no reason why he couldn't get 15. There's no reason why he couldn't. What do you think, Pete?
I am now worried about putting pressure on players because I don't think
Mm.
17's untouchable for Wilson, the way he does take his chances. I think, yeah, look, that whole he's a great goal scorer. He's a great scorer of great goals, not a great goal scorer stick is used to beat him. I think it's just because it's a nice phrase to say if you don't mess it up like I did just then. But I think 17 is fair. If he continues the way he is, if Sunderland can continue the way they are, I am getting carried away. We are speaking just after the game, and I'm absolutely elated. But yeah, I'm going 17 for Wilson Isidore
Why is Erling Haaland on 11 goals?
because everything that touches him goes in the back of the net at the moment.
Absolute alien, man. Like, I just went to look there and I was going to say, well, no one's even in double figures yet, and he is. He's not even in double figures of games.
I was listening to, I think he's a Guardian writer and he is Norwegian talking about him. And he was saying, obviously, he'd been covering one of the Norwegian national games and had got a bit of an interview with him. And he was saying that he's just in the best physical shape he's ever seen any human being. And Haaland himself is saying he's in the best shape of his life physically. If he wasn't fully fit, as he's saying beforehand, and now he feels like he's really hit that stride. He's like the T1000, man.
It's
I'm looking
actually
forward
quite.
to seeing him up against Ballard, if I'm honest.
Yeah, exactly. Ballard will knack him.
You know what? You sometimes like laugh at stuff like that, and it sounds like a joke, but like because we're playing so well, you want the game to come, and you don't really care who comes. You're kind of up for it. But I'm looking at top scorers there. Haaland's on 11. He might finish as a top scorer. Phil Parkinson signing Antoine Semenyo is second with 6 goals and 3 assists. Then Thiago is fifth. Then you've got Mateta on five. Sorry, third on 5 goals. Then Mateta. Then you've got Anthony Welbeck, some bloke from Germany, and then Wilson on 4. So we talk about having a striker that can get you 10, 15 goals to keep your head above water. Wilson's kind of proven him on the current form that he's that sort of man. But look, let's have a look at some other listeners' questions before, because I'm gagging on a drink. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I know people sometimes like listen to the
For what
podcast,
it's
but like
worth, I'm going with 21.
21, that's pressure.
And I'm not the one
Pontoon.
that's having to score them.
Mm, I just think it's a different league compared to what usually happens. But look, I've
That's
gone.
what I wanted to mention, right? Do you know when you've said there, and you touched on it, that the Premier League might suit Wilson more? And the reason that is, and you've seen it today, he got in behind 3 or 4 times, is because teams aren't going to sit in a low block against Sunderland. There's going to be spaces in behind, and his pace is frightening. How many he put one to the side net, and then a couple got blocked, and that's from him just running in behind. And he's done it. I mean, the goal he was disallowed last week was exactly the same. He's
Great
goal
finish
again.
last week, by the way. Didn't touch him, but what a
Yeah.
finish!
So you know what I mean? That's where people are saying it might suit him more because it's not having to be in a low block. He can always be on the shoulder of the last defender, and it's a nightmare for them. But yeah, move on to your next question, Graham.
There's just loads, to be honest. I'm trying to refresh it just to see if any new ones have popped up, because like some of them are just like so giddy, and I don't want to say anything outlandish on a podcast. Like Wilson will definitely score 15 goals. Pressure. Oh no. This is a good question because I think it puts into context the importance of the result depending on your answer. But I'll go with this for you, Brad. Were Chelsea the strongest team we faced this season?
Yeah,
I'd say so too. Do you know who else I thought was really good? Brentford.
they're all good.
Yeah.
They are Premier League sides, but Chelsea are the strongest team. They're in the Champions League. They've just took Ajax apart in like 4 days, 3 days ago.
Mm.
Um, they beat Liverpool. I think they won the last 4 and been quite comfortable. Um, the world champions. They've spent £1 billion on players. They made 7 or 8 changes today, and they made 10 changes Wednesday. They've got that much squad depth. I know we got beat off Man United like and Burnley, and you'll have Burnley fans if they do listen to this say, "Well, we were a bigger test for years than them." No, you weren't. Chelsea were the biggest test. We stood up to that test, and we've came out fucking buzzing.
I think they're the toughest team we've played. And there'll be Chelsea fans listening going, well, hang on a minute, that was poor from us. And yeah, I suppose if you're a Chelsea fan, I get it. But they're a decent team. Like there was points when some of their players were like so silky on the ball and stuff like that. I do think that like experience. I know that's a conversation we had when Sunderland won the championship a couple of seasons ago. Like, do we need more experience? And we've seen today what our experience can do. I think Chelsea do like a little bit of experience. I think they could have done with some of that today when they were maybe like trying to force it or just kind of not being brave enough on the ball. But I still think, for me, the best teams we've played have been them, Brentford, and bizarrely Burnley, probably. I think, and I also think Man United might be alright this season. But I think it's
Palace.
yeah, Palace were good. That's the thing. Like the idea that we've had an easy run in, because the argument now will be, oh, they've been able to build up momentum because they've had that easy start. Like everyone said when we got promoted, oh, there's no easy games in the Premier League, mind. But then we win them and suddenly they're easy. So ultimately, I'm not that bothered what people think. Like, recently people have been saying, "Oh, Shearer won't come and speak about." I don't care. I don't want him to speak about us. I'm not bothered. I couldn't care less. I haven't got a single solitary fucking shite what he thinks about my football club. No, many other people apart from mine. When my team wins, all I care about is that my pub stocked with enough brandy to get me through the night, and that I get watch match of the day or have enough eyesight to watch about the end of the night because that's what really matters to me. But there's not many other questions. There is ones that have come in, but a lot of things that we have covered. But Pete, well, let's look for the next game. Unfortunately, we've got a little bit of longer to wait here, which I don't really like. And unfortunately, because they've changed it to Monday night, I can't go because I can't get down. But we're giddy at the moment. Chelsea was obviously a massive win. We're coming off the back of a really toiling win, maybe against Wolves, but a good performance. We're second in the league as we speak, although this game's tomorrow. But we've got to now look at Everton at home and say, well, why not? Because it's another home game where we're unbeaten. We've got the best home record in the league, and we're proving that we're proving we're a Premier League team, in my opinion. On those first 9 games, and there's a long way to go. Those first 9 games, if you want to base those first 9 games, we look like we can cope in this league comfortably. So there's no reason we can't go in to Everton at home and Arsenal at home full of confidence.
I'm absolutely brimful of confidence, and I presume the players are based on the performance they put in today. I think that Regis Lebris will fully be prepared for the threat that Everton will pose, and Everton will pose a threat to Sunderland. But I am confident that Sunderland have the ability, both on the field and in the technical announce off the field, in order to how to set up to be able to beat Everton. I don't say that in any type of like massive overconfidence. I know we are recording this as we all say, a little bit giddy, but I think genuinely, yeah, we have to look at that and think, why not bring that on? I'm sorry, Graham, that you can't go to Everton because I would have loved to have gone as well. But I'm actually kind of glad that this one has been moved because I'm going to China on Monday and I'll be back the following Monday. And as long as all of my connections line up, I'll be able to be sat on the couch and watch it with me dinner. So I'm quite happy about that, and I'll not have to like get up at 2 in the morning to watch it like I was doing for matches when I've had to watch them over there previously. But yeah, I don't anticipate anything else than Sunderland going for a win in that game. Obviously, whether they get that depends on how it goes on the day, but I'm fairly confident that they can.
If we beat Everton,
Hmm.
then the Arsenal game could potentially be put on Sky Sports and advertised as a title decider.
Like
I,
as it stands at the minute, yeah.
it really is. I mean, I was looking at who the players at Palace that Arsenal have tomorrow. Is it
Villa versus
Villa?
Man
Villa, I beg your
City.
pardon.
No, it's Arsenal
Oh
have
no, it's
Palace at
Palace. It's
home.
Palace. Arsenal have Palace. So up the
City
Eagles.
have
Up the Eagles tomorrow. Keep it tight at the top.
and City have Aston Villa away.
Villa,
So,
yeah.
but it's funny we're laughing and stuff like that. But ultimately, I think look, if you say to me at the end of the season, it would have to be a hell of a drop off for this to be the case. Sunderland finished 17th and stay up on goal difference. I'd still take it. Still take it. I'm
Yeah.
not bothered. I would take it like that. I think the big thing today is you look at those points tally. You get a little bit of a nosebleed sitting in seventh, but we're on 17 points, which means we're what 23 points closer to where we want to be. Once we hit that, then we can start looking forward. I would normally say never get too far ahead of yourself, but get ahead of yourself. Like enjoy it. Like I think maybe that was something I would have said when I was 21, 25, 30. Now that I'm nearly 40, like enjoy it. Like we don't always get times like this, and you don't always get teams like this. In general, even the best teams in the world don't get to live last minute winners on like a reel. Like I was watching a Ballard goal the other day. Now I can watch the Talby one. I can watch the Wilson one from the other week after he just had his baby daughter the day before and hadn't slept. Just like there's so much stuff that's wonderful about the football club, and like in a really weird way. Like I think we spoke about it before about this being like the last season of the podcast. Like I feel like it's like the tempt to me to be like one more season because we're going to go into Europe, by the way, mate. And like I'm just like, no, lads, come on. Like, but it's a total pleasure to speak about Sunderland at the minute. It's a pleasure to support them, and I think the amount of messages you get from people around the country when you win games these days, like, just shows you how big it is. But lads, look, go and enjoy your night. I hope everyone's enjoyed the pod. Minimal editing tonight because there's nothing more big in this. Thanks for popping on, Brad. Good to speak to you again. Sunderland are second in the league at the time of speaking. We've beat Chelsea deservedly away from home. Just enjoy your night, enjoy your weekend, enjoy the next 7 days to come, and mind the fucking gap.
Thanks for having us.